Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Well, we're all kind of curious who's the next Attorney General going to be for the United States. But today we have a very special guest. Sidney Powell's with us. She's worked in the Department of Justice for over 10 years in 3 federal districts and under 9 U.S. United States attorneys for both political parties. And she was a lead counsel in more than 500 federal appeals. And she's the author of a book that I think is somewhat very revealing, License to Lie, Exposing the Corruption in the Department of Justice. Wow. Hi, Sidney. How you doing today?
Good morning, Perry. I'm fine. How are you?
Great. Thanks for your time. Wow. Well, first of all, what made you write the book? What happened?
Well, it's a book I literally prayed I would not have to write because it reveals heartbreaking failures in our system of justice that I found so intolerable and inexcusable. I had to write about it so that people can know what's going on from the inside out.
How bad is it?
It's pretty bad in about 20 to 25% of the cases, I think.
Oh, that is not good news.
No,
all right.
It's not.
Well, excuse me. As you know, we are getting ready to select a new Attorney General, and Loretta Lynch has been named. First of all, what's your take on Eric Holder?
Eric Holder is fairly well excoriated in the book License to Lie. We gave him any number of chances to correct an egregious injustice, and he refused to do so in any way, shape, or form. He refused to even acknowledge there was an injustice. I've written articles on the New York Observer at observer.com, including one on Loretta Lynch and a couple on Eric Holder that explain even more how he's protecting corrupt prosecutors. He refuses even to name the names of prosecutors that the Department of Justice itself has identified as intentionally or recklessly withholding evidence from defendants and violating the Constitution and rules of ethics. So, not to mention the Fast and Furious debacle, being the first Attorney General held in contempt of Congress, the IRS email scandal and the, quote, inability of the Department of Justice or the IRS to find the emails that every 15-year-old in the country knows is out there. It's just ridiculous. It's the most embarrassing Attorney General I think we've ever had.
Wow, those are big statements. Do you think by him resigning now, is he given immunity from all of this?
No, but my guess is he would be. I mean, I can't imagine that President Obama wouldn't issue him some sort of pardon, but I think the process should proceed. I'd really like to see a grand jury investigation, particularly if we have trouble getting the Fast and Furious emails that he supposedly wrote to his mother and his wife, none of which should have been written in the first place. If those are even his mother and his wife that they were written to, it could have been code names for somebody in the White House.
Whoa. All right, let's come to Loretta Lynch. What time we have here. What's your thoughts? Is she qualified?
I think she's qualified. I think from everything I've heard, even from defense lawyers that know her pretty well, they like her and think she ran a good U.S. Attorney's office, which is all very good news. The article in the New York Observer today says the title is Loretta Lynch a game changer or a game piece? And I think that's the ultimate question. She's capable of being a game changer and going in there and cleaning things up if she hasn't been totally indoctrinated by the administration. You know, if the president's going to let her do her job, she could do a great one. But as I said in a tweet the other day, at Sidney Powell 1, she's going to have to separate herself from Obama and Holder to be the great Attorney General that we need her to be.
If she is a person of integrity and decides to clean up the department and work with these investigating committees, then she would have to expose Eric Holder's email exchange.
Right.
That's pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a federal judge on that, too. Judge Bates in the District of Columbia is on the Fast and Furious case that Judicial Watch brought. And Judge Emmett Sullivan, who I talk about in License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice, because he's one of the heroes in that book, Judge Sullivan is on the IRS issue in the case brought by Judicial Watch to get those emails. Judge Sullivan might well be ordering additional discovery for Judicial Watch sometime soon, because God knows the IRS has not been forthcoming.
All right, now give us a little bit of an insight, Sidney, on how this works. Does Congress have the power to force the DOJ to come forward?
Congress can demand productions of the documents. It can hold the Attorney General in contempt, as it has done. But I'm by no means an expert on congressional enforcement power. I do know that federal judges can enforce the law. For example, Judge Sullivan appointed a special prosecutor in the Ted Stevens prosecution to investigate the Department of Justice itself and the Public Integrity Section lawyers, because they had committed misconduct. And that produced an excoriating report that showed us how the sausage is made inside the department, and it was not pretty. So he could do the same thing in the Judicial Watch case against IRS.
But at the end of the day, the AG's got to enforce prosecution against itself. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Well, no, the judge could appoint a special prosecutor to prosecute the Department of Justice people involved in any sort of cover-up.
Wow.
Remember, it was Judge Sirica that got the Watergate tapes produced.
Oh, that's right. Okay. The book is entitled License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice. You may want to get a copy of it. There's a picture up there on the screen. And the author is Sidney Powell. Let me encourage you to get a copy. Fascinating read. And it's everything that we suspect, I think. This is really some of all the things you've done and all your investigating and research to write this book. Which has been the biggest violation, in your opinion?
The most egregious thing I found that made me absolutely sick was the realization that several prosecutors had yellow highlighted but hidden evidence that showed 4 Merrill Lynch executives were innocent. That evidence contradicted everything those prosecutors told the judge, the jury, the Court of Appeals, contradicted it completely. They yellow highlighted it knowing it was favorable to the defense, but hid it for 6 years while 4 good men went to prison on an indictment they had pieced together that didn't even state a criminal offense. The judiciary had turned a blind eye to it, and that was just more than I could stand. Those prosecutors became White House counsel, general counsel, deputy director of the FBI, and the acting attorney general for the criminal division of the Department of Justice, who then unseated United States Senator Ted Stevens, the longest serving Republican in the United States Senate, in the corrupted prosecution that then became the subject of Judge Sullivan's special prosecutor investigation.
Unbelievable. What's the motive? What could you possibly think the motive would be to do all of this?
They wanted to win at any cost. It was about them instead of about justice. No prosecutor should go into the business of representing the United States of America except for the purpose of seeking justice, not convictions, and not a career changer or a ticket to 7-figure salaries in international law firms or becoming White House counsel.
Wow. I got to have you back. I'm out of time. But let me ask you this. How are you doing? What has this done to you by writing this book?
Well, it has produced a marked change in my life. I thought I was busy before. I'm busier now, but I've met a lot of people who really care about this country. I think Americans are sick and tired of lying in Washington and double standards. We can't solve any problem unless we can honestly identify what the problem is. People are willing to overlook or, forgive mistakes. But this deliberate misconduct has got to stop, and we have to acknowledge it's there to fix it.
Sidney, thank you. Thank you for taking this on. Thank you for your stand for righteousness. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. We'll get you back, okay?
Thank you, Perry. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great day. All right, Sidney Powell. Again, the book is entitled License to Lie. Get a copy of it. We'll be right back.